Hey, good morning, everybody. It's about 8:22, and as you see up there, I'm going to read off Dan Drazen's review. Dan Drazen, again, in case some of you don't know, is one of the oldest Sonic fans out there to date. He's in his 60s and everything. I've known about him for many, many years. One of the first stories I was introduced to him and to his writing and all that was through his fan fiction stories, one of them being When Bunny Meets a Bunny. So, anyway, this is his review of Sonic Universe 39, basically Scrambled Part 3. And, Scrambled Part 3. And this is what he says. Here we go. Here we go. He basically talks about who wrote the story and did the artwork, so let's get that out of the way. Sonic Universe 39, released 2 months ago, June 2012. Peppers, Ash, and the cover art is by Peppers, Amash, Peppers, Amash, and Downer. And he notes the cover art. They're continuing the salute to cinema with a bow to a film that was released in 1970, which makes it way older than most of the readership. Patent. With sneak references to Superman and Ghostbusters, Sonic, meanwhile, represents the opening credits of his Saturday morning cartoon show. Alright, Scramble, Part 3. Line in the Sand. Story by Ian Flynn. Art, Jamal Peppers. Ink, Jim Amash. Color, Steve Downer. Lettering, Jack Moreland. Assistant editor, Vincent Lovelow. Editor, Paul Kaminsky. Editor-in-chief, Victor Golick. Mobian Matchmaker. Get that? Mike Politro, Sega Licensing, Anthony Golick, and Cindy Chow. And I'm going to have to correct this to a friend of mine, Louis the Hedgehog. I think he's got something here on YouTube. So Louis the Hedgehog, if you're listening, this is the issue you need to read from Sonic Universe. It's issue 39, part 3, to kind of get an idea of what I was trying to tell you on DeviantArt. Okay. After one page, and this is Dan Drazen's review. Okay, get some coffee before I start. Here we go. All right, here we go. And I quote Dan Drazen's review of Sonic Universe 39. After a one-page recap, the highlight of which is Snively getting beat up by a girl, we get another movie reference as Eggman and his Robo-Dukes enter the Dragon Kingdom as the Raju minions do their workout. That leaves Conquering Storm to carry the weight of exposition, since Eggy carries enough weight as it is. The comic relief bots only bring the accents, which in the case of Cubot has changed yet again to a retro pirate a la Robert Newton's Long John Silver in the 1950 Treasure Island, which went on to beget 1,000 bad imitations such as Cubot's. Connie, Conquering Storm, respectfully disagrees with Eggman's demand that her clan be legionized. Eggman's retort is simple: my way or the highway to the cemetery off-ramp. There's been no sign of Jun Kun-un, the Iron King, though that may have been him working as Iron Will, the motivative Minotaur in an episode of My Little Pony, Friendship and Magic. Since Connie's, Conquering Storm's, evasive answer about Snively went past Eggy, he exits. Just in case anybody reading this is too dense to get it, Connie, Conquering Storm spells it out in the last panel. Meanwhile, it's lunchtime for Regina in the Storm-Top Slammer, the solitary confinement wing. Snively slips in and tases the guard before dropping in unannounced on his sweetie. He gets a very warm welcome. Having a bucket stuck to your butt doesn't help. Whether or not the tea is warm and sweet, Reed JJ is better than boiling. Reed JJ, or Regina, is bitter and boiling. Seems she didn't take too kindly to Snively going back to the dock after her reign sort of fell apart. Lacking a comeback in this situation, Snively leaves her in her cell just in time for Eggy and his crew to show up. Lin Yu, the local lion dog elder, is confronted by Eggman's robots, but he doesn't get to do more than strike a heroic pose before the bots are zapped by Monkey Kong. Eggy then takes this chess game up a notch by playing his queen, or in this case, his princess. His princess. When the reunion with Sally catches Khan off guard, Eggman turns his attention elsewhere, when the interrogation of the locals turns out to be easier than he thought. We switch back to Khan and Sally. Khan tries the same fight-it speech Sonic already tried with the same results. Back at the well, Eggy is chatting up Regina while Khan and Sally continue their combat. At least until Sally calks. Khan is more worried about voiding Sally's warranty than anything else, so he takes her to Eggman. Seems Sal's primary power source is a power ring, one of which Khan uses for a crown. With a little reluctance, as the page budget can afford, Khan hands his crown ring over. Instead of Sally flashing 12 midnight over and over, and needing a few minutes to reinitialize, she comes up swinging, and Eggy brainwashes Khan with a crown from his own collection. So what happens when things get this bad, and a comic with 4 pages left? It can only get worse, and they do. Stomping like Godzilla through trees, here comes Snively in an ancient mecha to spring Regina. That takes 2 pages, and setting up the cliffhanger ending takes more. All right. Now, again, for anybody that may not have watched these videos or do not read his reviews, and again, I'll provide the link down below, he does it with a score of 10. He's got 3 categories with a score of 10 being the highest for each. So in other words, if you get 30 overall, that means that means that the story, the entire issue basically, from the story and the art and so on, gets 30 overall in all 3 categories, gets 10 in all 3 categories, basically getting an overall score of 30, then that means the issue was good. That means Ian Flynn, or whoever the writer was, did a great job in bringing the story to life and getting people's attention. If it gets below that, well, it all depends. If it gets like a 25 out of 30, then it's okay, but, or 28 or something like that. Basically, your average is trying to get maybe 25 at most out of 30, if not maybe 20 out of 30. But let's see what he scores it here. The head score being the head of the story. I've said it before, at the moment, the head score he gives. This is before he reveals his head score. I've said it before, but at the moment, it really bears repeating. There is no law that says a comic book arc has to be 4 stories long. Okay, maybe the guys in marketing believe it because it makes it easier for them to sell compilations when they're of uniform length. But here we are at the 3rd installment of a 4-part arc. a story which shows no impact of the previous story whatsoever. It was pointless, simply pointless. But let's move on. The Eggman is still making sure that the troops are in line, even as he's being shadowed by his comedy relief bots. And this conquering storm keeps Eggy off guard. Looks like, of course, Snively's love life hit a speed bump at first. Can't say I'm surprised. To be fair, it was Sonic, Khan, and the furries who got the better of her, especially in that they destabilized the regime back home before hitting the new Mobotropolis branch office. But that's a loss on Regina. But that's lost on Regina until Snively showed up with, and Paul Kaminsky makes a passing reference to it in the column, the Iron Onin. On the outside, the Iron Onin is no phony. The Onin is on the outside, the Iron Oni is no phony. The Oni is a devil/demon/ogre/troll in Japanese folklore. They have horns, claws, wild hair, and usually wear animal skin loincloths. Maybe I.O. is wearing tiger stripe underwear under all that samurai plate armor. As far as Regina is concerned, she demonstrates how to do a quick 180 turn when she recognizes that the Iron Oni is her ticket out of there. I'm not sure her commitment to Snively is anything long-term. I didn't even get that impression during the Iron Dominion arc. Head score 7. That's what I meant. Head score 7. Eye score. Jamal Peppers makes Connie look creepy with those circuit board eyeballs. And other than the introduction of the Iron Oni, there's really no new ground broken visually. Eye score, artistic-wise, 8. Heart score. Sadly enough, the only major heart moment was when Eggman was declaiming all over himself about Snivvy's alleged affection for Regina. Jamal Peppers gives her an emotional complexity that is otherwise totally undeserved, considering what happened during the Iron Dominion arc. I don't see the romance breaking any new ground. There is one other heart moment, the reunion/battle between Mecha Sally and Khan. In this case, it looks more like a rematch than a reunion. Still, it feels as if editorial is seriously trying to poison the Sonic/Sally well ahead of finally rubbing her out. Still, it feels as if editorial is seriously trying to poison the Sonic/Sally well ahead of finally rubbing her out. Maybe. Then again, I haven't been totally committed to where the story arc is going. Heart score 5. Okay. So basically, overall, he gives it a score of 20 out of 10, which isn't bad. Which isn't bad when you consider it, because 25 is like, say, a B. So let's say 20 is maybe about a C. So basically, he gives it a grade of C on average. But that is his review, if you will, of Sonic Universe 39. And Louis the Hedgehog, if you're listening, you need to read this issue. Where is it? You need to read this issue more than the other ones. But anyway, we'll get into another part from what something else that he's talked about in a little bit. So comment, video response down below if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.